Just want to thank you for being here. We have the webcast, live webcast, and we want to thank those that have joined us that way. Again, they have the ability to ask questions online, so please ask away. And of course, you all will have, there'll be lots of time for questions and answers here. I do want to thank Ernie Nicely Done Consulting for providing those services for our members. I think it was a great addition this year. I want to ask if we have any first-timers at this meeting. We have quite a few, so thanks again for being here. It's a great networking opportunity for you. You'll learn and grow with us, and don't hesitate to ask any of the members, any of the board members, any questions that you may have through the day. And also, when you leave, please use the website for information, and also to reach out to all the members, board members also. So we are here to support one another, so again, just use the resources that you have available to you. Okay, we would like to recognize all the retirees, those that will be retiring this year. And we have Miss Heidi Gray here, who we know will be retiring this year. She has brought a fun little microphone with her today. So I would ask that those that are retiring, if you could stand, and we're going to pass around this fun little ball. And we would like for you to just...
I have to make sure it's still on.
Yes.
Can we hear it? Okay.
We would like for you to just tell us a little bit about your career in schools and what you may want to do in your retired life.
Well,
whatever you want to share. No, no. You're going to be first. You're going to be the example, Heidi. So.
Okay. What was I supposed to talk about again?
Anything you want to share with the group. We just want to thank you for your...
only thank you. This has been one of the most informative and productive and downright fun parts of the job. And it's one of the few things I'll miss about not working. That's it.
Well, Heidi's been on the ASCUS board. She's, you know, she's one of the most highly respected and experienced ladies in the field and school data. And
that's nice for old.
So we're going to miss you, Heidi. So thank you for your contribution.
Now hurry up and pick a person. Okay. I want to throw it.
Who's next? Anybody else in the group that's retiring? Want to share? Yes.
Okay,
thank you.
Let's see, my career. I worked at Scottsdale School District for 13 years, and now I've worked at Alhambra for 13 years. And I'm just looking forward to retirement and traveling and doing whatever I want to do. Staying up later, sleeping in later.
Well, for those of the newcomers, could you tell us your name? And
yeah, my name is John Hasenstoff, and I work for Alhambra Elementary School District.
Thank you, John. Thank you for your contributions to schools and students.
Next.
Next. Anyone else retiring this year? No. Who wants to retire? That is the true question. This year has been challenging.
Okay, well, if any of you are interested, this little thing is called a cue ball, and it comes with everything you need for less than $200, and it's lots of fun for kids in classrooms and meetings and all kinds of things.
Thank you, Heidi, for bringing that. Was it okay? Could you all hear through the microphone? Yes? Okay, we're gonna use it for questions and answers later, so we'll be passing throwing the ball around, okay? For a little fun today. Let's lighten up the spirit. Okay, so you know that the board members, we all have our purple shirts on. Don't hesitate to ask questions of us. We appreciate it, and give us any feedback that you have. We'll be planning for next year, so any topics, any changes you'd like to see for next year, please reach out to one of us. Just a few reminders that, you know, our website has lots of information on it. We have Ask the Board, so you can ask us any questions that you would like. All the meetings are recorded, and you will find them there. And any presentations that are given, you will find them there. We also will have the meeting dates for next year posted as soon as we can. We're working with Alhambra, again, with their schedule. So as soon as we know, we'll be posting those. And next year, we will have to call for elections. So if you have any interest in serving or contributing to this great organization, please consider running for the board. Plan for it next year, and when we're ready, we'll call for the spring election. So keep that in mind. You may know already that we've had to revise our agenda today. Unfortunately, school finance had some conflicts come up, and they are not able to be here. We have given more time for IT updates, though, so hopefully they have some great information updates to share with you. We have Sherry Fimbres and Lori Ventura here today, so I want to thank them for being here and able to present, you know, the information updates. So give them a round of applause. So we're going to have Lori up first, and then we're going to take a break. Then we'll have Sherry, and then we're going to do the end of the year prize drawings. The vendors have graciously donated items, so we'll do that about 11:15, and then we're going to have lunch. And then you'll do your breakouts in the user group meetings. And the locations are the same. If you don't know where to go, just ask one of us. And I think that's all I have to share at this point. Unfortunately, I do not. They did not give me an update on any of the information, but we will work towards, you know, letting them know our concerns, our questions, and as we go through the day, we will record those questions that need to be addressed to school finance, and I will personally send them a note, and you know, hopefully they can give us a response, and we can share that with the group through the website or otherwise. So yeah, please don't hesitate to ask your questions, because if it does need to be addressed with school finance, we will record it and we will get back to you. Yes, definitely. I know it's time sensitive. Most of this information was time sensitive, but we'll certainly work with ADE in getting those answers for you. Are there any other questions before we move on and have Lori start with her service portal? Okay, then I'm going to turn it over to Lori.
Good morning. Happy Friday. It was nice this morning. Very nice, wasn't it? Anybody get on their back patio and have coffee and whatnot? I did. It was very nice. Well, welcome. Nice to see you guys. How many, can you hear me? No, sorry. Better. Can I start here? Can you, hello? Takes a minute to recognize voices, right? How many of you are using the Service Manager self-service portal? What are some things that, I'm just curious, I just want to get your, I tried to get stats. Last time I was with you guys, I gave you some stats on how many people were using it. We have a base of, remember, if you're an ADE Connect user or have an account in that, that's how we authenticate you. So we tie you to your school or your LEA, and then you can see the tickets, just you. I know that there was some need or some want to see overall everything that's going on, and trust me, we're working on that, but what it entails is almost undoing the whole application and rebuilding it to do that. So it is on a roadmap. It just depends on when we can get the dollars to be able to do that on all the other things that we have to do. I only have one service manager guy that is the developer. So just know that it's a work in progress. It's way more than what we had before, right? You used to have to manage all these emails and didn't even know what the heck maybe the email was referring to or whatnot. So what are some benefits thus far? Come here, Heidi, let's do your ball. I just want to take a couple minutes because I want to hear from you and maybe your peers hear from you about what maybe some of the benefits are from using the Service Manager portal thus far.
Ready? Is it on? Okay. I'm Chris from Cottonwood. I just used it the other day to show my purchasing person how to register a group to come to a conference, and they had very good explanations and pictures of exactly what she needed to do.
Oh, so it was a help article.
Right.
Yes. Thank you. What else? Anything else?
They're afraid I'm going to hit them.
All righty. Well, my work is done here. Have a great day. Really? Okay. All right. Okay. So last time I was here, I'm going to go this way now. Can you hear me okay? So the last time I was here, I didn't really give you, I remember I caused some confusion to you all because I didn't give you the exact site. And there was a reason for that because it wasn't going 100% live yet. And so I apologize for that. It wasn't intentional to hide anything from you. I just wanted a slower, controlled rollout of the portal just to make sure that we didn't have any hiccups or when you ran into it, you know, like, well, this doesn't work. I don't want to use this. So we've overcome all of that. But if you see, actually, I'm so not a Mac girl. If I get out of this, can I get back in? Wait, okay, so the red dot means get out of this, right? I want to close it and open it so I can show them how to get into it. So the red, right? I'm so sorry. And I'm in IT.
May the force be with you.
No, Heidi. Okay, so open up any browser. And I think this makes it bigger. Okay. And you'll type in I got to put my glasses on. I'm sorry. HTTPS, obviously it's a secure site, so that's why, help.az.gov. And what it's going to do is prompt you, oh, it didn't prompt me, sorry, it's already recognizing me. But what you'll put in is your ADE, or it might even recognize you already. But what you'll do is you'll put in your ADE Connect account. Now, if you're going through the SIS, you should be able to authenticate as well that way. But what you see when you get in here is the service catalog. Right now, we are still working. Like I told you, I only have one development guy, and we have some program areas at ADE that are still just using their email to be able to help you. I know some of more of the program areas, let's see, like ESS or I can't think of what, assessment. Those types of things. So there's some program areas that we haven't transitioned yet into this Service Manager portal because we have a different console for us to manage our tickets and our queues and assign it from when it comes into ADE support. You know that email, right? ADE support at az.gov. That comes into my group. We look at it. We figure out what is the issue. Do we have enough information? And then either we'll come back to you and ask you, hey, can you explain a little bit more of what you need or what you're trying to tell us or so on and so forth. And then what we do is, depending on if the group is on Service Manager, then what we'll do is we'll assign that ticket to that group. Right now, we are fully engaged with grants management, fully engaged with most of IT, fully engaged with school finance. So the goal is to get more of the program areas using this. So, because what happens is, let's say we have something that is an assessment question. The assessment team is not fully engaged on this. So what we do is we create separate emails, and that's how you get the email string that keeps going on. So it's kind of like, oh, well, if I'm with this group, then I can manage all my tickets through Service Manager self-service, or if not, then I have to go to email. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for you. Please know that we're trying to get it to where all of the groups at ADE are on this. Administration is really all for it as well. So, but you also know budget and the crisis that we've been facing. So give it time. But what happens is you would be able to come in here and log in and see all of your tickets. This is a test account. I don't have a lot of data in it for you, but what I wanted to point out today is, you know, you can view your tickets, you can comment on your tickets, and you can attach things to your tickets. And all of that shows up in your view of your tickets. So let's go first.
Now, Lori, are these any tickets that you would be sending to ADE normally?
Yes, ma'am.
Any kind of question?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yep. So anything that you send to ADE support at az.gov, which is my group, we get it first. And like I said, what we do is we go in, we analyze the ticket, make sure it has the necessary information to at least get it to the next group, or maybe it belongs to my group. And then we'll reach, it gets assigned to an analyst. They have, and just to let you know, the SLAs that we've set up for anything that's in my group or Purvey, we get your ticket and we assign it that day. So we have and I'm on it, and I report on it, and if we're lacking, I want to know why and what's going on. Maybe it's a training opportunity for us. Maybe it is a program area that we have to have a discussion with. But we are on it, and we are about 99.6%, I believe that was, or maybe it was 98.6, of meeting that SLA for every single ticket that comes into you. So it comes into us. So it is immediately that day assigned to an analyst. And then the analyst, depending upon the severity of it, and if it's in my purvey, they have less than 3 days to resolve it. Last month's, actually this is funny, when I took over, we had an 11-day turnaround. Yeah, I lost a lot of sleep over that. But now, just to let you know, we are, last month's reporting, we were 1.5 days. Isn't that awesome? I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And I know there's buts, and I know that there's outliers and whatnot, but for the average, it was 1.5 days. So that's really good. We're working really hard to make sure you get the answers that you need, you know, in a timely fashion. And if we don't know, then we at least start digging immediately. So I've also, just to let you know, as far as the support center, we used to have contractors come in and out, which is very expensive to you, because then I have to train new people to understand, oh yeah, that's what this is, or get them up to speed on all of the applications or whatnot. I just recently, last week, turned the entire center into all full-time employees. So I know, isn't that great? That's the first time ever in, I think, well, I don't even know how long, but I was able to convince the powers that be that how expensive it is to have people come in and out, and really who are the real losers, so to speak, on that, and that would be you guys, because each time a person goes, they take away a bunch of, you know, knowledge with them. And I've stopped that as well, because we're documenting everything. And with this, we're now putting things into knowledge-based articles that you'll be able to help yourself as these grow and grow. So lots of good changes, lots of really good changes, and I'm really proud of the staff that, and I took a lot of time to pick the right people that are on there. So, you know, I want to serve you. And so that's the spirit of everybody that was hired. Yeah.
Okay, just to my understanding, can this authenticate through our SIS?
She wants me to throw the ball at you. Okay, just trying to clarify,
it'd be nice if this was on our ADE Connect authenticating through our SIS.
Yes.
So the entity administrator has to go in and assign this self-service portal to us.
Yeah, right now, Service Manager does not have the concept of a role. Okay?
So how do you get that on your ADE Connect?
Okay, so remember, any person that has an ADE Connect account, and right now we have about 50,000 users, anybody who has ever had an account created should be able to get in there. Now, if you're with the SIS, your roles are not managed there. What you'll have to do, there's two ways to do this. Listen very carefully. If you are only a SIS user through ADE Connect, or ADE Connect only through SIS, there's a couple ways that you can get your people into ADE Connect so they recognize it. Because if you have all of your roles inside your SIS, ADE Connect has no visibility of that. We just authenticate you through the tokens and the ADFS and all of that. So if you have a person who's down the block from you, or a teacher or whatever, there's two ways that you can get a person into ADE Connect. There's a self-registration piece where they can go in, and that was built for the event management system. So if like teachers and whatnot want to take a course that ADE offers, we have a whole new calendar of events system, and there's a self-registration portal that we took off of you entity administrators and let those people assign themselves account. So once they do that, they're in, they submit a ticket for some reason, automatically they can see it, okay? Even if they go in through their SIS, because we're already authenticating them. Does that make sense? Okay, so then if you are an entity administrator, what you can do instead, and it's up to you what kind of policies you want to do, you can go in and create the person attached to the school with no role. Because there's no role associated to Service Manager because it doesn't have that concept. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. Yep. What?
Right, that's what I was going to say is that
It shows up just under your name at the top right-hand side when you log in under your SIS, so it's not listed under any of your LEAs. It's independent of them. It's accessible there. I was just playing on my phone while Lori was showing us.
That's really great, thank you, because I'm not a user in each one of your SISs, so I'm not for sure. Yeah, Christine? I don't think we can.
when you log in through your SIS and go to ADE Connect, then you would instantly think it was going to be in one of the districts or schools or places that we're used to seeing things, but it's up on the right-hand side, very tiny, I might add, but I was able to see it for myself, and I was also able to see it for the accounts payable person that was just going to do registration when she went in, because we added her as a user. So, I know it's working because we just used it. But on that note, we didn't know it was there. I mean, I just happened upon it, and I think you had put out some notifications, but we didn't know it was there. And so it's just this little tiny thing up on the right-hand side. Kind of reminds me of when we're going into the portal and then into reports. They're kind of not obvious, but once you know where they are, yeah. So, yeah, I think so. I think it's called self-service portal. She might know because she just pulled it up.
Was it called self-service? Yeah. Yes, it said, I had 3 little things under there, and one of them said self-service portal.
Maybe when I'm done, you could actually log in and show. Would that be helpful for everyone? Maybe. We'll try it, right? Well, we're ending out the school year with a big push on all of our communications out to you all on actually using this. So what we'll do is we'll put together some sort of a mini campaign on back to school and, as it relates to this and whatnot. So thank you for that. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion.
I have a question. I have a ball.
Yes, I have a microphone.
the tickets that are available, all of your tickets, no matter how old they are going to be
Yeah,
there? Okay.
yeah. So that's what I was going to get ready to show you. I wanted to show you viewing tickets, updating tickets, and then really the power of this is the more knowledge-based articles that we can get in here from all program areas, including I'm working really closely with Andrew on the AZs. The AZ stuff will be in there, which is really great because that's, that's a lot of what you do right now, correct? So Andrew and I just met yesterday on getting his team on board with writing KBAs, and I took him through the process and because we've had to figure it out. The support center did on how to write them, the template, and so on and so forth. So now Andrew's got all that information, and he will be working toward that. So that's really exciting because the AZs is really stuff that you guys specifically are going to need a lot. And then maybe it would be great if we could get some program areas on here to help as well. So, Heidi.
What program area is AZ Safe right now?
Really?
I just don't know. I mean, I know we had our discussion earlier.
I'm going to bunk you in the head.
What program? Does it have a program area?
No.
Okay.
As you notice, the agenda kind of changed. It had Lori Ventura, service manager, and then also AZ Safe. Well, it wasn't really assigned. I'll just take you really quickly. It wasn't really assigned when we first started talking to the ASCUS board about this next agenda item or this meeting for the agenda. And no one had really taken AZ Safe, and because it just said ADE staff. So, you know me, I kind of panicked. I'm like, who's going to talk about this? And so I started digging around a little bit, and then I told Mark. And he said, Lori, no, that's really from the program area that should do that because it's not an IT function. It is not. Maybe in the future how you get AZ Safe data when we even know it, it might be an IT function, but the knowledge and the people that can answer the questions is not IT. It is very much the program area, right? Well, there's a little bit of confusion because of the grant and whatnot on, well, what is actually required of AZ Safe? So I started going down a rabbit hole that's why I picked up the phone and called Mark and I said, So I reached back out to the one department that responded back to me, which is ESS, the Exceptional Student Services, and their need for discipline data. And started to get a little bit of answers, but I wasn't comfortable that it was a full enough picture. Told Mark that, and he said, you know what, back out. I did go in, and I asked the ESS team if they could perhaps speak here. And this was, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, and they already had commitments. So that's why we don't have a full-on, please know that I tried. I tried very hard, but it's not an IT function, so we had to back away until we can get some more answers. So, Heidi?
Well, no, I
Someone
agree.
take this ball from her.
I agree.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I'm trying to apologize to you. It wasn't a get on
No,
the spot.
no,
It was what
no.
program area does AZ Safe fall under currently? And I didn't know if it was ESS or if it was assessment or who actually.
Well, the concept of AZ Safe kind of went away, right? I mean, because of the funding and the grant and whatnot. And so once again, AD is kind of scrambling for, well, what are the data elements? Who needs them? Is it needed anymore? And is it just part of, what? So I can't answer that.
Okay.
As much as I want, I can't say that. I can't.
I don't know if anybody else has experienced, just one question, Lori.
No problem.
I have sent 2 schools, 2 sites, AZ Safe files. I got the message accepted successfully, blah, blah, blah. That's been 3 weeks ago with no reply back. Is it successful? It's not. Is anybody else experiencing that? You send it and you don't.
Send it to whom?
I upload it through the AZ Safe, go to ADE, AZ Safe, pick my school, pick my file, upload successfully. I get an email that it's successful. No results. So I'm hoping maybe we don't have to do it this year. Is that what that means?
Don't you dare ask me that question and ask me to answer it. I just said, you guys.
We did too. We've gotten all of it to schools, so we're good.
Okay, so let me just, from what I heard from this and from the consensus that I'm getting from you all, especially since that's what you said, who owns the AZ Safe app and where does the data go? That's basically, right? And what is the true requirement? I will take that to who? Barb Michelin, yeah, but she's in school finance now, right? And there is another person that I have a contact with. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's not. It's like a program specialist. It's not the actual business, you know, like an associate, because that's who we have to get the data. I mean, the answers from. Okay. It could be Rebecca. Thank you. What is the? Okay. Please allow me, and let me dig more and see what I can come up with. But I have to be, you know, I have to be cognizant of what Mark has asked me to do. So, but I also understand your need.
Lori,
so, yep.
to get you out of the to get you out of the hot seat, we have written it down as an action item for us.
Thank you. Whew. Lori said. Now, do you know how much trouble I would get in? Oh, okay. So, do you know how to view your tickets? Okay, so let me just show you. Okay, so when you log into AZ Safe or AZ. Thank you very little. Okay, so when you log into the self-service portal, I have right here, you've got your service catalog, which is all of the offerings. Think of it as the program areas and help that you can get. Because there's a method to the madness. You've got the service catalog, you've got my requests. My activities don't even go there because we don't have it turned on yet. It's a feature and we're still kind of thinking about how we want to do that. So those of you that participated in our beta testers the first time, I might be calling you again just to get a little bit of, hey, what do you think? And then you've got your whole library of help articles. Can't find your solution, come and talk to us. That's my group there. And then of course that sends you immediately, opens just a raw email and you can just type in that way. But we don't want you to do that. So first off, let's see, I go in here, I view my requests. Oops, excuse me. I did not activate this to put more dummy data in, but all of mine right now are closed. But as you can see, I test, you know, just put in, hello, I've lost my password credentials. Can you please help? It logs you, this was 76 days ago, but it logs all the activity of what's going on. And it's backwards in nature. So here's what happened. Thank you for your input. There's 2 forgot password links, and so he gave me some information, great, and it was closed. So you can see all of the activities of what's going on. Any questions about that? And if you wanted to respond to it, you could just respond right in kind here. So I should have had one open for you guys so we could have done that. I apologize. Let's see. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you can go to your actives. As you can see, I don't have any. You can go to the ones that are resolved. Do you know the difference between resolved and closed? So when your AD support analyst or whoever resolves your ticket, it resolves, but you have 3 days to go back to respond to where it actually closes. So if something's going on and you want some more action on a resolved ticket, you can go ahead and put that in there, and what it does on the back end, it notifies the analyst that you've made another comment on that, and so they can go back to that. Yes, Bev? It is 3 calendar days. Thank you. Yeah, that might be an opportunity, right? Maybe we want to do it for 3 work days. Okay, let's see what I can come up with for that. 3 work days versus 3 calendar days. Okay. Was there another question somewhere? Yes, ma'am.
What happens if tickets don't get resolved in that school year? Does it just follow over to the next school year, or do they all have to be done by Q30?
We don't have a concept of year end in this tool.
But we do for our closeout.
So tell me what you're looking for.
Well, if we have a ticket open, does AD have to resolve it before the end of the school year? And I have tickets out for a month on end.
Where are they sitting at right now?
I'm sitting with my account analyst.
Oh, so this would be school finance? Yeah, I can't speak for them. I apologize.
Those are all going to roll into this.
Yeah, I mean, service manager doesn't have a concept of, I have to close everything out and do a rollover. It's going to, it'll remain open through the tool. Now, if you need to talk to your school finance analyst, I can't go there, right? Yes. Yep. Yeah, if they're working through the ticket system, it'll update here for you, and you'll be able to see it. Because school finance is one of the groups that is on this tool. Through your email? Yeah, most definitely. You can see everything. Everything's consolidated for you. That's why we did it, so you didn't have to search in your email for a particular IR number. Yeah? Oh, can I repeat the questions? Okay, sorry. I will try to do better. Okay. Okay. To report multiple, so like a split merge? Okay, okay. Okay, I can do that. That was actually where I was going to go, but okay, so let's go through an exercise. I want to show you. So let's just say I want to go to the service catalog. And right now I have grants management, I have IT, and I have school finance. Here is a merge student ID, right? So I know that, first off, I'm trying to go with thinking here. So the question is, I want to go in and I need to let ADE know, school finance, that I've got a split or a merge or whatever. I think, yeah. So what I would do is I would go to school finance, because hopefully I know that. If not, I could go up here and press in, well, let's see if school finance has put any KBAs out there. Merge student IDs. So I come on here, because I know that's what I want to do. I open it up, and here is, so the difference and the beauty of this is that a lot of times what happens is, we've kind of done a disservice to everyone by just allowing you to send an email to ADE support, because we just kind of let you tell us, and there's a lot of times where it's like, ooh, we know that you know what you're talking about, but when we get it, we might not know what you're talking about. Even internal, I got an email or a ticket yesterday internally that said, can you tell me more about that MIT? Well, what does that mean? And they were offering some Microsoft IT training at work. but I didn't know what that meant. So what happens is that slows down the ticket because I got to come back to you and go, can you tell me what you meant by MIT? And and then it comes back and so on and so forth. So with this, the goal is we went to each department area that is actually doing this and said, okay, what are your high ticket volume things? And then what pieces of information do you need, school finance, to be able to, once you get the ticket, everything is there. They don't need to reach back out to you, and you are guided on what information is needed to more quickly resolve your issue. So I would do this. Where's my glasses? I would go in here, and we have very carefully asked for the specific information that we need. So please provide the details below so school finance can correct your student's record. If you have more than 10, please use the bulk update form. So inner part of the LEA, and who shall I pick on? Oh, Heidi Gray. We have a list for you here. It seems like it's running, it might be network or whatever. Let's see.
Lori, I actually think there's a problem with that. I tried entering a ticket yesterday and it just spins. I tried it
Really?
this morning again, yeah. And
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
So the search for LEA just spins. Oh no. And because I'm not okay, so here, let's do this. Oops. So for some reason, it's not, that is no good. Did you try this? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's that. So I want this. So you've now told school finance who you are. Student's legal name, we'll just put me in there. Date of birth, oh, like I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, some year. Well, wait a minute. I'll just do this. 1932. Thanks. No, it's not. Grade level, I'm going to be an 8th grader. SACE ID that are believed associated. All the SACE IDs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I know that would not ever be part of that. And then this might be reasons, I believe, oh, excuse me. Right? And then I submit it. So what I've done now is I've went in and I've given school finance the information that they need. So I should be able to go back. There it is, right? So I can go in and if I want, I can attach a file. This is not my computer, so I'm not going to go in and search, but I could attach a file, maybe a screenshot that I've taken, maybe some integrity errors that I'm facing, whatever, and I can put that in there. Or I can say, hello, I need to correct my request or whatever, update it, and then you update it. Now if I want to go back, there it is, right? So then your school finance analyst on the other end would enter information. Maybe they need more information. Maybe, hey, I've got this. Thank you for doing this. You can expect this whenever. That kind of thing. Yes, Miss Chris.
Okay, so I didn't see a place for you to put your, I don't know, I might have not seen it, I can't see that mark, but for you to put your district or your analyst, so when it goes to school finance, does it just go
There was for a while in the works. Saba wanted the tickets that were assigned to a particular LEA. So who is your analyst? Okay, so anything that would have come into the portal from Lake Havasu, on the back end, it is notifying Barb, who is her analyst. I believe that it should be in works. I don't know that it didn't happen because Rod did a lot of work to make that happen. It goes by the LEA. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the spinny thing for a minute. Yes, ma'am. I know that is out of my purvey. I don't know. I know at one time the question was when we asked for a split or merge ticket, do all of the ESS and the assessments and all of that, do those things get moved as well? I know it was a very manual process before when ADE support were doing the split and merges, and I pushed back and I said, that's not an IT function, that's really an AD or school finance. You're the one that should be making that decision with your LEA, not IT. I know that it was a manual process back then, meaning once ADE support merged, then they took the request to the program areas for them to do that. So it was elongating that step. Where they are with that right now, I don't know. That's a school finance, you know, that's more of a program area. And I don't mean to keep saying that, but I don't know.
Once we got their information back, we had to forward it on to the ELL. And, you know, if we send the stuff in, it should all be handled. But
amen. Yeah, and she said once we send this stuff in, we should just know that it happens on the back end at ADE. And I also said, if you remember, that not all the program areas right now are on Service Manager because it takes a while to get them booted up and the things that they need. And we only have one guy. So I'm not for sure exactly how they're handling that now. School Finance would be able to answer that for you.
Actually, Lori, I'll talk to it when I'm up.
Oh, Sherry will talk to it when you're up.
In terms of having tickets out there for students with multiple EdFi IDs and AZ merit testing, so when we get that resolved as to which number to use, how's that going to flow back to the AZ Eds or the AZ merit testing? So we tested under the wrong, we may find out in June, we tested under the wrong EdFi number. Now we use this EdFi. How do we get that corrected on the student's AZ merit test?
Sherry, do you know anything about that? I know they have a correction app where they can make those changes. When you say they, who's they? The
assessment team?
Yes. Yeah. And I'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
So you said that you pushed back that you didn't think was an IT function. And I don't really care who handles the function. So you were saying that you pushed back and you said that merging and other dealings with state IDs is not an IT function. And I don't really want to argue that. But can you explain to us why it's a school finance function? School finance doesn't really own these IDs. And school finance appears to be overwhelmed with this. This is our complaint. And you're going to hear it from everybody. You send something to school finance, it doesn't get taken care of for days and days and days, or weeks and weeks and weeks, or months and months and months. And this ID thing is absolutely crucial. Why isn't there some part of the ADE organization where there is someone who, that's their specific thing. That's their deal. Not school finance. Please help us with that.
Okay. And I'm not making light of it. I will definitely, thank you, Bob. I will bring up what was said and go from there. You're welcome. Okay, so I wanted really quickly, and then I don't know much more that I can show you on this, you know, how to open a ticket. I believe I addressed that. Are we okay with that? How to do that? Viewing the tickets, updating them, if you want to put in screenshots and whatnot. It eliminates, like I said, for those program areas that are on ADE or the self-service portal, the need for you to track all of your emails. But I wanted to show you a little, sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for, right? Maybe you do. So let's just go with something small. So let me show you. I've got two examples. One, when a KBA or knowledge base article exists, and when one doesn't. And what do you do then? So let me take you through those two scenarios, and then if there's more that you want to see, I'm happy to show you. Because those KBAs are very powerful for you. You know, when you go into, let's say, Microsoft or whatnot, you have a whole library of information, and that's what we're building. You know, we're not Microsoft, but we're certainly trying to give you tools to help you. I lost my glasses again. Okay, so pretty common one is AD Connect password reset. So what I'm doing is I'm searching everything to where it's going to say, oh, how do I do this? So as you can see, this one is very popular. It's being used a lot because it's gotten stars. I also, if I have this question come up a lot, I can heart this one. Is it going to let me right here? It might be inside, but I can mark it as one of my favorites. So, oh, here it is. So this is, here's your KBA article on how to reset passwords. The cool thing is, you keep getting it. So I know you're an IT function, and it depends on how you have your own support. You know, when your users in your district have some, you know, and you're the one that's getting password resets. I don't know how to do this, whatnot. I don't know what your process is internally, but so here is the article, takes you through screenshots, everything, how to do it. Go through it, follow the steps. Voila, you're done, right? If it was really helpful for you, you can rate the article. However, you are an IT person and you get bombarded with these types of things. Let's just say this thing here. Oops. Well, sorry, this is not my computer, but you can mail that KBA article to one of your people who keep, for lack of a better word, bugging you about these things that you can do on yourself. So, uh-oh, how do I get back? Like that. I use the 3 fingers. So you can, there you go. Yes, Heidi.
Is there a way to export the status of your cases so that you can email them?
There's not a way to export them yet. And that's been mentioned. If you wanted them all out on a spreadsheet, and you can kind of manage them that way.
People that are interested in the status.
Yeah, no, not at the moment. Thank you. I just wrote that down now. Okay, so there's how you can use a help article. But let's say I have some integrity issue. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to look through this. Now this starts a question for you, or a ticket for you, with all of the necessary information. But no, I really don't want to fill out a ticket. I want to find some sort of a help article. Well, it doesn't look like there's any. So what do I do? So the first, you have 2 choices. One, go in here and provide as much information as you can based on the form that has been created especially for integrity. Or where is that? Hang on just a minute. It's going to take me back. Hang on, I apologize. Sorry, I apologize. So here it is on the service catalog. The service catalog represents the applications or the program teams that are on this right now. But if you can't find a solution in the catalog, as we searched here in integrity, and I'm looking maybe for a help article or whatnot, I can't find maybe a form that is about integrity, right? So what I can do is I can just come in here and create just a generic request. We're at least grabbing some information from you. So, sorry. So you have three ways to get your tickets in, right? You can go in and use the form based on, as you saw, the integrity issue. We'll keep that one going for a minute. You can go in, you can open the integrity service catalog, and it will give you a formed, prompted questions that you need to enter so you can get the right information. That doesn't work, you can go in and do the general ticket that I just showed you, this one here, right? Generic incident request, because you can't find anything. Or you can go the old-fashioned way of ADE support at az.gov. I would encourage you, though, as much as you can, to use this portal because we ask for even specific information here as well. And like I said, you'd be surprised what we get. No, we talked about that as well. What we want is for you to use this because it's much more directed, and we can get the information and maybe get those 1.5s or maybe get, you know, some of the school finance that you said that you're struggling with as far as getting someone to help you. I do know they hired a new person, so I'd tell you. So they added to the team. So that's good. They're bombarded. Anything else about the portal? Yes, Bev? Is STC? STC is part of AZEDS, right? Which is really, well, Sherry can talk to that later as far as that data, but that's all rolled into that. You can, yes, you absolutely can. You can use that generic request, but as I mentioned, Andrew, who is really over the AZEDS, him and I are going to work very closely together to get the appropriate, most common things asked about AZEDS into the portal. So you'll see here before too long, you've got grants management, IT, school finance. Hopefully you'll see some AZEDS there soon. And we've got a timeline. It's just, you know, we're working on it.
What would be really helpful for districts that are next year going to go to current funding? A knowledge base article about capture dates and when do you need to know what you need to know, which I don't know because we're not. But that would be real good before we start the year, what to expect if you're a district that's 17-18 going to current year funding.
Well, I thought the last time Saba was here, she said that she was working on the calendar for next year. Or maybe that was in our board.
Well, not
it was during our board meeting at ADE.
Not just the calendar, but what does that mean to me? I've got the calendar.
Well, calendar of submission dates and payments and all that. Yeah, she's working on that. She actually told the board.
A question I had is if you're missing 2 kids on the first capture date and you don't get paid for them on that first payment, now you fix them. Do you recapture? Yes. I mean, those kind of questions, I don't know.
Right.
But it would be a good article to have for people who are moving to current year funding.
Right. And, you know, I'm sure that's what they want to do. Right now they're trying to dig through tickets and get you things. So when their knowledge base article work begins, I'm not for sure of that.
So
you know, and I've offered,
yes.
Yeah, I've offered up AD support to help in any way that we can. So it'll be a partnership because we don't want to write anything that's not true or, you know, doesn't totally reflect. Anyone else? I have a big voice. You have a big voice. So do I.
So I have a question. So I've got some integrity errors with ESS, and I have sent them the email with my issue. them, ESS data management, and the reply is it's now a tier 2. How do I follow up and find out what exactly that means and where they are with the progress?
Did you submit a ticket?
No, I sent the email to ESS data management.
Okay. So that's one of the disconnects still, that I don't have all of the, we don't have all of the program areas inside this. Now, if there's very easy, in fact, when Andrew and I start migrating and, getting his emails, we did have an email. Did you guys ever use an email, azeds@azed.gov? Yeah, so I know the vendors did big time, but you might have too at the beginning when you were having AZ's issues. But what we did was, and also if anything comes into like the old STC inbox or the A-list box or whatnot, what we do automatically on the back end is turn every single one of those into a ticket. So that might be something. It might. Yes, ma'am.
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, sorry. So, yes. So she said, so if not, then you could submit a ticket. And is that what you said?
I'm guessing that since I have no response, and some of those were sent to tier 2 4 or 5 months ago, and I've not had anything change, that now I guess I need to do a ticket.
I know what I would do. I would do, what? Screaming doesn't help, yes. So what I would do is I would go in here to this generic request, and if you'll see, at the bottom here, that's not what I expected to see here. Oh, I know what I would do. This is what I would do. I would put in what the issue is on this generic request, submit it, everything that you've got, and then once it shows up in your My Request, oops, I would open up the ticket and I would attach that email so it all stays together. That's what I would do. Then you can track what's going on personally. Yeah, so you totally can do that. Yeah, Rhonda.
I had a ticket that went to ESS. They closed the service manager ticket and then started dealing with me through email. So I'm not able to actually track anything anymore.
That's because, once again, they're not on this tool yet. But you can track of what's going on. And there's a very easy way that we can get with the program areas to help those things show up in your ticket. And so I'll take that as an opportunity, because if you are with email and you actually put the IR in hard brackets in the subject line, go with me here, put the IR in the subject line in hard brackets and BCC Service Manager Mail, it'll go and it'll all get tracked here. So that's an opportunity. Actually, that might be something that I could do to help out immediately. I'm really glad you said that. Yeah, I'm really glad you said that. I might be able to help immediately. Anything else? Oh, gosh.
Well, I'm retiring, so you know.
So you got a free pass.
I was looking at one of my incidents, and it doesn't have any of the comments from the analyst on it, which are kind of important, like where if they send it to EduPoint or how many, because you know me, I want the status of my incidents about every 3 days. So I send emails and they send me back comments, but they're not showing up on my incident. It says email sent, but it doesn't show what the comments were.
Okay, so then I might need to look and see what's going on. It might have been bad behavior on whoever was handling that ticket, and I'm not throwing them under the bus, but sometimes they can get a little, for lack of a better word, lazy and just say email sent to EduPoint or email sent to whatnot, but you don't see what's going on because that's the comment that they put in instead of what was actually sent. Yes, yes, they should. And if not, if you want to take a peek at one of them, I'll look at it and tell you exactly what happened. I'll be happy to. Anything else? It's Friday. Anybody watch the draft last night? I did too. I'm ready for football. Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a beautiful summer, and reach out to me for anything that I can help you with. You never know, I might know the right person or whatnot. I don't need to be the savior, but I can at least help you get going in the right direction if you have any questions. So thank you.
Okay, I think we're gonna break early and take a little break, regroup, make sure that you have your answers or your questions written down, and please ask away. Like I said, we have plenty of time. I do want to make one announcement. The EASE group, the finance user group meeting is still going on this afternoon. There might have been a little miscommunication, but they are meeting this afternoon. So break, and we'll come back. Let's start again about 10 o'clock. Okay? Thank you.
You just want me to show it? Is that good? Or?
What is your name? Joanne. Okay, so let me just take it. So that is what now, that sample might be around after the first one. Get on. It's actually not good. No, it should. So all apps, hang on, all apps within 18 days should have only that. And that's a standard now. I don't know, because Grand Standard's not like the first one. Maybe they didn't do it and they never went back and revisited it. study. And then I'll get it to and I'll get back to you. When's the last day? I know, but no, it's like the two of them work. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so how is it that you see big time rush? I'm like, there's no way she's going to see.
Okay, we are ready to start again. If you could take your seats. I just want to remind everyone, if you do have questions, we want to use the microphone so everyone can hear, and also the webcast participants can hear the questions. I'm going to turn it over to Shari Fimbres.
Thank you. So welcome again, everyone, and I am sure you are getting very excited to wrap up this year. I think many of us are. So what I would hope is, as we wrap up this year, again, one of my focus areas is also actually thinking about moving into FY18 and what we can do to improve next year. So today I am going to go through or how do I? What? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So today I'm going to go through, just revisit what our priorities again were for this year. A look at the current state and future state. I did share this last time as well, but I do want to keep it in front of you because we are getting closer to that vision, and it is a collective effort by all of you and also within ADE that we're actually making this happen. So it doesn't happen with any one person or even a department. It's really everyone collectively that's making this happen. I'm going to cover some of the highlights, so what we've accomplished as well as what is remaining for this year. Go through the student analysis tool, what's been done as well as what is up and coming. We are going to talk about FY18 because I know we're trying to wrap up FY17 and FY18. It's a little scary, but it is right around the corner. And just a quick update on some general updates, and at the very end I'm actually going to go out to azeds.gov and share with you where the new integrity rule document, I don't know if everyone has taken a look at it, so I do want to share it with you and make sure that you know what's there and also what's up and coming. Okay, so our priorities this year, I'm going to go through this quickly. Our goal was to go live with AZEDS and to really use this year to fine-tune, address the issues, make adjustments, so learn, take your feedback in, and do things better. So I think we have accomplished most of that. I still believe we have some work to do, and we have some work to do moving into FY18. We did want to also enable the decommissioning of our legacy systems. We are on track to at least enable downstream systems within ADE. So that is actually fairly significant, and you will start to see the benefits of some of the other changes that we're seeing, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we did want to ensure the proper support and management of the overall project. As you heard Lori say, I think her team, they were doing a phenomenal job and really trying to improve the tool sets that we use for support, as well as getting the right individuals in place to support. With me here today, we have Andrew and Irvin from Tier 2. Thank you guys. They're here for my backup support because they know the details better than I do. But they've done, I think, a tremendous job within the Tier 2. So thank you both for all your support this year. Okay, current state. So we still have a lot of items in red. And what that means, so we have, as we are transitioning, so everyone knows SACE. That is our legacy tool. And we have, this is our first year transition to AZEDs. Whenever you have an old system and a new system and you're trying to keep them up and running side by side, it definitely is not easy. And again, it's not easy on you and it's not easy on anyone. And so we are on a mission to get rid of those red boxes as quickly as we can. So we've not only been moving, we move where our student details is through SACE to AZEDs. We're moving our entity or organization information from enterprise to a system called OEMS. And we are also have stood up an operational data store. It's really exciting. We have almost, actually, as of this week, we have all of our large program areas now that have their own operational data store data mart. So we feed those on a nightly basis. And one of the comments that was made earlier, when we do a merge and we do a split, what does that mean for the downstream, like your assessments? And through the use of this ODS data store, we are going to be able to start streamlining that for you. We have to do it in steps. We have to get some of those foundational components in place. But as soon as they're in place, we are going to start seeing those benefits. So when you do a merge, it will actually trickle through all of the systems within ADE. So we're not there yet, but I can tell you that we are very, very close. So it is exciting. So please be patient with us, but I can tell you that we are making significant progress. So future state, again, we want all those legacy systems to go away. We want one source of truth or system of record. And we are taking that all the operational data now into one single large data repository, and we are pushing that out to all of the program areas. So we no longer have all these multiple copies of data out there. We have what we call a single source of truth. There isn't confusion about one set of numbers not matching the other, but you would think that they're the same. So we are, again, we're very close to achieving this vision. So for our accomplishments, we did roll out the student analysis tool, and we announced that in the last ASCUS meeting. We had released the support program rules. We have the Azure database migration. So since our last meeting, we did have about a 2-week period of very poor performance within AZEDs. And we had transitioned to the latest Microsoft Azure model. And obviously, we actually did 2 things. And stepping back, we should never have done 2 things at one time. We uplifted both our database as well as the environment that all of our application servers sit on. We changed our Microsoft model. So when we first started having challenges, it was very difficult for us to isolate if it was happening on the database side or if we were actually having challenges with the app server model. So unfortunately, painful for all of you. I can tell you I don't think we'll do that type of a change again unless we have a significant case to do them both at the same time. In the future, we'll definitely do one at a time. We would have been able to isolate the situation much quicker, and because we had too many moving parts, it took us a lot longer. We did have Microsoft who was fully engaged, and Microsoft still is researching why we had issues with the application server in the model. That was escalated. Mark is having meetings with them. Right now, we won't go back to that model until we are 100% confident that they have addressed whatever issue it is that we experienced. Because the day that we switched back to the old model, our prior model, it started working. So we did accomplish one objective, which was to uplift our database to a faster, more robust database hardware. So that was successful. We are seeing improvements in our response times for some of the reports. We have isolated some of the reports that still need to be performance tuned. We will be working on, I know like the stud 10, we have, and there's a handful of other reports that we still, the response times for those reports still need to be improved. They aren't where we want them to be. And we also had our merge tool that moved to the AZEDS portal. Still up and coming is the split tool. We are in user acceptance testing for the split tool, and we are still targeting to get it into production in the next week or two. We're having regular updates so that we can get that tool out as quickly as possible. It does impact, I know, especially where we have two students that are sharing the same ID, because we have not been able to break apart those transactions for those students. So that is coming. We're working very closely with school finance to get those IDs addressed. We will have our final set of integrity rule changes at the very end. I'm going to go out to the document that we did post at the end of March, at least listing the rule changes that were still remaining for FY17. So it is out there. It's been out there for about 30 days now. We had additional rules go in last night. We have one more set in May, and then we will wrap it up. I know the goal or the desire was for us to finish those rules earlier this year, and there were just too many changes. One of the changes that I have, or process changes that we've made on our side, before any new rule goes into production, the team takes a snapshot, a current snapshot of production. They run the rules so that I can see the metrics before that rule goes live. So I know and I can question if we all of a sudden see a spike, we haven't communicated, we haven't let you know that it's coming, then that rule does not go live. And I've actually enforced that twice already, where I've had the team hold back in moving a rule into production. So we are trying to take your feedback, learn from it, and actually revisit our internal processes so that we anticipate and we know if we're going to have a rule that all of a sudden is going to cause a number of errors. In some cases, they're intended to. It's what the program areas are asking us to do, because maybe there's a data quality issue, or we're not getting some of the data in to actually feed some of our federal reporting. But what we do have to do is make sure that we're communicating to you that this change is coming, that data is mandatory within the agency, and so that you have a heads up that it's coming. And you don't have to wait until that rule is in place to make those changes to your data. You can go in and start updating your data and not wait for that rule. So at least, again, we're doing our best to communicate up front and monitoring the impact to you. The 915 process I'm going to cover in one of our upcoming slides. The EX1, I believe that we had a question about that earlier. It is actually under development right now, and we are planning to have that in by July 1. And based on the schedule I've seen, I don't foresee any issues with that and being able to support having it ready for FY18. Question?
Jerry, you're going to need to expand on that because most of us think that's just a guideline and we were wondering, okay, what are you doing in IC to implement the EX1?
What is the EX1? So I will take that question and I will see if it's something. I'll have to work with school finance. They are driving the requirements for that one. And I'll see if we can at least get an update out to you. I have the requirements for the report. I'm building it right now, or the team is building it. So I will see if at least we can communicate what is in that report and what it's doing. So I'll see what I could do there. Is that?
The issue that it puts districts in is if districts do not become aware of what EX is going to say until July, many of them, that's their only time to be out of district.
Okay.
And we need to make changes to how we're going to implement EX1.
Okay.
Starting the end of July.
Okay.
Or mid-July.
Doesn't give you, so it's
doesn't give us time
to plan.
We're working backwards.
Okay, let me see what I can do on that one. Yep. And again, it is under development and we have the requirements for it. So I will take that up. Yeah.
Not to beat the subject to death, but
That's
I would
okay.
say that it's a little disheartening that you have the requirements because that healthy decisions have been made on what EX1 is. That I know you're saying it's in development, but if you have requirements to build a report, some decisions have already been made, and they have not been transparent, nor have they been communicated to the rest of us in the room.
Okay. I will take that back.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one of the other items that we have, I believe that had been a pain point was a desire to have a concurrency report. That is also something, EX1 has taken a higher priority, and that is another report that at least I'd like to be able to start development so that we can have it in early FY18, so that you have some visibility into the other LEA that you're sharing a student with. So that's just a matter of us having the time and working through some of these other higher priorities first. Okay? Actually, within our operational data store, one of the recent items that we've just recently completed is we've been working on the October 1 enrollment. For FY18, we are developing a report so that as we move into FY18, we will be able to have a report in AZ so that you can see your October 1 enrollment data, so that that would be visible to you, and it would enable you to adjust your data or, at least validate the October 1 information that's being presented. I believe it used to be more of a manual process, and where we can automate some of these things for you, make it more efficient. Again, that's kind of the power of the foundation that we're building. All right, and one other piece that I guess indirectly within the operational data store, we are also building out the AZEDS Data Mart, which will provide the cohort and grad data to AZEDS, which will be used in integrity rules. So that is actually tied to some of the integrity rules that are coming in May. The student analysis tool. So has anyone been using the analysis tool? We have a few that have used it. All right, good. We are working on the next phase of that tool, we have the view of the audit trail will also be available currently in the tool. It is the current record associated to that student, and we are extending the capability so that any transaction that's been submitted will be, and that historical view will also be available within the tool. We will have the integrity results that will be displayed, as well as the ADM details for that student. So you will have better visibility into a single student, so not just some of the areas of data where you do the verification, but we'll be extending it to enable you to see both their integrity results as well as ADM. And then yet in a future phase, we will have the student data for the dropout recovery, and when we implement Grand Canyon Diploma, that will be in there as well. Oh, this is kind of difficult to see, but this is a screenshot of the student analysis tool, and we have the data verification tab, and it's a fairly long page. So as you scroll down, you will see the different sections of data for a particular student. And again, this is in production now, so if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, you know, when you get a chance, feel free to go in and take a look at it. Yeah?
Just so that we can all be on the same page.
Yes.
The goal here, if I understand it correctly, is you've got a problem with the student. This is one-stop shopping.
Yes.
You can go look at the student analysis tool. You don't have to go and look at the integrity report. And then
Correct.
And then the stud 72 and back and forth. It's all in one place.
Yes, correct.
See, so for that, we need to get in. That's great.
Thank you. Right. So I think to sum it up, the tool is one-stop shopping for a student. So if you are troubleshooting any information for a particular student, whether it's verifying the data that's come in, both current as well as historical, your integrity errors, your ADM for that student, it is all within a single tool. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so preparing for FY18, and it is coming up quickly. We have the API 3.0, and within the new version of our API is also the calendar. The calendar is going to continue to be in enterprise this year. So we are not moving that to AZEDS. I know at one point we had talked about potentially getting it into AZEDS, but from a timing perspective, it did not make sense. And we are keeping the calendar in enterprise. For FY18, yes, thank you.
Very much.
The calendar will move to AZEDS, and it will be available in January, so that as you're setting up your FY19 calendar, it will be available for you to actually work then within AZEDS to set up that calendar. So we have started UAT, so the new version of the API, it is available in our user acceptance testing environment. We are still working on the final set of changes to our integrity and reporting capability in order to get that into our user acceptance testing environment. I will have a blog posted on out on azeds.gov by Tuesday of next week what our timeline is to get the integrity and reports available to you in user acceptance testing for those who are supporting and helping out their vendor with that testing. Again, this is new. We didn't do this last year, but I think one of the learnings that we had was to make better use of our user acceptance testing environment so that we can do full end-to-end testing of any new functionality such as this to ensure we are very confident moving it into production. So again, it is out there. And we at least can receive transactions coming in. We do know that the vendors have started some of their testing, and we will keep you updated. So again, calendars for this year, or for FY18 in enterprise. The rollover process for going from FY17 to FY18 will be very similar to last year. So you will have until, I want to say, July 14th or 15th to submit your data into your FY17. At that point, it will be locked down, and we will be on FY18, or only accepting FY18 transactions. And if there is a need to make any changes to FY17, it will be through the new process using AZs for 915s. And I'm going to walk you through the flow there in a minute.
Can you say that date again, please?
So I'm just thinking I want to blog it. I know that for AOIs, they absolutely do have through July 14th or 15th to submit. What I will double check is what the hard cutoff date is for everyone else. AOIs do get a little bit longer, and I do want to confirm that, and you will see that in the blog early next week, because I don't want there to be any confusion.
So when you think ours is right now?
So June 30th. Yep. Yep, June 30th. We will roll over that night on June 30th, and by 7/1, the FY18 version, or you can start submitting your FY18 data using API, the new version of the API, which is 3.0. Yep, another question? How are estimated counts going to be handled this year? That definitely would have to be a school finance question. I will take that down, and I will work with Lyle and Saba and see if we can't get an update out on that. I am so not the expert in that area, so I wouldn't want to mislead anyone. Any other questions? Yes.
Currently on the finance monthly processing schedule, they have July 14th at 5 p.m. as always.
Okay. Oh, okay, great. So July 14th. For all? Okay, for all LEAs. Okay, good, thank you. That's, yep. All LEAs. Okay, yep. Yep. Yeah, sorry about that. So they actually looked up on the school finance website, and the school finance website says through July 14th, which is a Friday, at 5 p.m., you will be able to submit FY17 data.
You're going to blog it anyway, right?
Yeah, I'll absolutely blog it as well. Yeah, good. Okay, and then the final one, the establish a plan and process for rolling out new rules in FY18. This is something that I do want to make sure that we're improving moving into next year. I don't know if it will be monthly or quarterly, but having some way of planning out and informing you way, way in advance when the new rules are coming and what is coming. The caveat to that is any bug fixes, or if we're having an issue with the rule. Obviously, those are going to, we will fix those and get those into production as quickly as possible. But for any new rules or changes to rules, we will have a more rigorous process moving into FY18. And we've already talked about, or I've been working with the program areas to make sure we're starting to have those discussions now and get a plan in place for FY18. Yes? Yeah?
On the 915, it just refers to going and looking at that.
Okay.
Everybody knows what it is. But the other point is, it's been getting shorter, so I think it used to be like 3 years, and then I think it's maybe now 2 years, do you know?
I don't, so one of the questions, what is a 915? And so the 915 process is the ability for you to make corrections to prior year data. The current statute gives you the ability to change prior year data for up to 3 years. I don't believe the statute has changed yet. And as I know that within technology, we have to support 3 years currently within our platforms. Now, will that change? I don't know. But for now, that is the statute, and that's what we have to support. Yep. So I'm not going to cover this slide in detail. For the API 3.0 high-level scope, we are using the new version of EdFi 2.1. That's more of just a technical thing to get us to the latest version of EdFi. That does help our vendors out. We are also, there are calendar components of the EdFi 2.1, and the link to we're linking membership to DOR. This is so that there is a tighter data relationship between our Student School Association and our Student Education Organization relationship. So we're just, again, tightening that up. It's more of a technical item that we're working on. It just helps us have quality data. So the API 3.0 schedule, we are in the user, our UAT, or user acceptance testing environment, and we will have integrity and aggregation out by no later than 5/18, but I'm working with the team right now, and we will get an updated schedule out by Tuesday of next week. We are looking for the vendors to partner with their LEAs and have sign-off by 6/16. I wanted to be able to have a little bit of a wiggle room between our sign-off and our production release, so that if we did have any, I just wanted there to be a little contingency so that if our vendor needed a little bit more time, or even we did, we had some room in our schedule. So we weren't this running everything to the last minute, really trying to make sure we're getting things done way ahead and not getting it done at the last minute. (915s). So this actually might be difficult for some of you to see, but up in the upper left-hand corner, you will see, and I think what you do today, the process for you on the front side of requesting a 915 will not change. What may change is the format of the file that you'll be submitting to school finance for a 915. And again, there will be more communications on that. But that is currently a business managed process. So my understanding, you submit a request to school finance to correct prior year data. They review that request, they work with you, and then there is a final approval of what data can be changed. If that request for a data change is for FY15 or FY16, that is still going to be in SACE. So we need to continue to support 915s within SACE for 15 and 16. If it is a request to correct FY17 data, that data will be submitted in through our API. So you'll actually submitting that through your SIS tool, and it will come in through the API, and you'll be able to see integrity and aggregation results, and then that will be pushed through to our back-end systems from the school finance to the payment systems. So the biggest change for for FY17 prior year data will be that now we will be using the AZEDS platform to support those changes. Does anybody have any questions on that? So more details to come. We have a question in the back.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, so is it going to be the same process where you're just going to open up the database for the 17 next year? And when they file the 19, we'll open up the database?
Okay. Yeah, so the question was, will the process be the same for FY17, that we will basically open up the ability to receive transactions for a specific LEA that's been approved for 915. We will open it up. It will be different. And when I say it will be different, how it will be different is that if you are approved to change, say, 10 students, it will only be opened up for those 10 students. So in the, I believe in the SACE environment, you could submit more than what was approved. There were no additional kind of checks and balances within SACE, but that is changing. So you will be able to submit data for all the data that has been approved for school finance. They will have a tool where they'll go into and they will identify who has been approved to receive changes for. So that is probably the biggest change in the process that you would be experiencing. Any questions? Yes.
So my question is if as of June 30th, hopefully,
yep,
we're moving to the 3.0 API.
Yes.
But FY17 has to be submitted through the 2.3 API.
Yes.
Is that something different that districts will have to see on our end, or is that just something the vendors?
It's the the vendors will have to support both versions. So when you go over and submit your FY17 data, they'll be pointed to our 2.3 version of the API. When you're submitting your FY18 data and forward, you'll be pointing to a different version of the API. We hope that with future EdFi changes, we won't have to have a separate version the way that we do across multiple years. But in this case, because there were significant changes in the data schema, we have to support both. Yeah. All right, so I think unless there's any other questions, I will go over to, I might need some help here. And I'm going to go out on the azeds.gov and actually show you where the new, or where the final set of integrity rule list is, if you haven't had a chance to check it out. And that list is actually in the format of the new format, so I also wanted to cover it for that reason as well. Okay, thank you. So under azeds.gov, I am going to go to AZEDS reference. And if I scroll down, we have the integrity rules section. Under integrity rules reference is this link called final list for FY17. Oh, we'll see what happens when I click on this link. Can you see it on the? Okay, good. And I'm not a Mac user either. Double click. Beautiful. All right. So this is the final list of changes. So a couple of things that we are going to be doing and that you'll see in this new list. We'll always have a last modified date. So when we have a new rule that is deployed, give us a day or two, and we'll have the actual date that that rule went in. So hopefully that will help you. Previously, we just had the fiscal years, but I know even for myself, if I was trying to troubleshoot something, that wouldn't really help me. It would help me to know what day did it go in that maybe I felt a difference in my integrity errors. So the actual date will be in there. In addition to that, we have the expected release date. This definitely makes some of my team members very anxious when I want to put dates out here. So what we've settled on is we will let you know what, so we're always working around the data capture dates. We won't deploy a new rule before a data capture date unless there is some sort of emergency and it would really, we know it would benefit you. Otherwise, no rules go in at minimum a week to 2 weeks before a data capture. So after data capture is when you can expect the new rules to go in, because the thought behind that was that gives you time to make any updates or corrections before that next data capture date. So our goal is at least to get them in right after a data capture date or as close to it as we can. Yes.
What are those data capture dates?
So the data capture date, great question. They are published out on the school finance website. That is the date that they actually go in and pull that current snapshot of data that they're going to use in that next payment reporting period. So we want to make sure, you know, your payments that we stay away from. We don't want to be part of any issues as they go to make that pull of data. Did that help? Yes, there's a calendar. Yep. And if you go to the school finance website, I think that's the calendar we are looking. It's that's true. It's on the school finance. I think it's called data capture. Oh, I could probably go out here in just a minute. So it is out there, and those are the dates that we are always again working around. The other thing you'll notice about this is that it is an Excel, and so we're going to take all the PDF files that are currently that our integrity rules are in, and we're moving all the rules into a single Excel file, and you'll be able to go in. It'll be sorted by rule type, but if you want to research, or it'll hopefully, for those of you that do use Excel and like to have everything together, it might help you in researching different rules or the impact that it's having on your data. So we are collapsing those PDF files into a single Excel document, and this is the template that we're using. All right. Yes, question.
I'm getting an integrity 100071, and it says that there's a bug that AD on my ticket responded that there was a bug, that they're aware of it, and my homebound kids are failed.
Yes.
Is that going to be fixed before next aggregation?
Yes, it is, and okay. So the error, yeah, actually it's right here, I believe. Where did I find it? Right here, right?
It's either 71 or 71. I can't remember.
So I think it's, yeah, 10071. That is a bug, and we have a fix that's going in next week, or is on target to go in next week to fix that. And it was for homebound students, correct? Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that is on track to go in next week. Okay. Is it? I'm looking at. Oh, it comes up on 71? Okay. Okay. So we'll do. Yeah. Okay. So we'll look at that as well and make sure that that's being covered. It could be covered. Go ahead.
Well, this is just the thing that you guys are putting the integrity out so late in the year. You know, we worked hard to get our data clean, and then boom, now I've got pages full just because of our own.
Integrity Rule 10071 was just a result of fixing another area.
Okay.
It wasn't like we released a rule and just flat out broken. We did a related fix, not a related fix. Broke 10071. This is just specific. This is
Okay.
IT stuff happens.
Well, and I think our new process should help with that, because if we, the new process where we're pulling down production data and running the rules against everything so that we confirm that we're not breaking any rules on what we're putting into production. So I think that that will help. So, so what Andrew had shared is this bug was introduced when we were fixing a different rule. Some of our rules are the relationships, they are fairly complex. But I'm hoping our new process will fix or address things like this. But it wasn't, yeah, we didn't definitely intentionally. But we also know that we do need to get better at not having so many rules go in, and that's why I'm really looking already at plans for FY18 and making sure we have a calendar and it's published. And, you know, a great goal would be to maybe have no rule changes in Q4. Can't promise anything, but I'm sure that you might appreciate that. So, so again, we'll see what we can do to get everything done earlier and communicate it ahead of time. Yep. Go ahead. I'm.
1072 was a part of that bug for a certain scenario. I don't know off the top of my head. I know it's just supposed to be going on pretty soon for 1072. It was a really small amount for students. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So there was a small number of students that were also impacted by 1072, and that's also going in.
So I just want to be sure I'm understanding the question. You just pulled this off the website, right?
Yes.
And a lot of them say after April data capture deadline.
Yes.
Was April 11th.
Yes.
Now we're coming up to a May deadline. So do you have to change that to say now we're done after the May deadline?
So actually the April ones that are remaining, I believe are going in. I will make sure when they post this new one, because they had changes go in last night that aren't reflected on here, because we make sure it goes in successfully and then we get it posted within a day or two. So I'll make sure if there are any that are moving out to May that it does get updated. We have one more install that's coming on integrity rules next week, and then that will be it. Then we hold it off until the May data capture, and then we will have one more set of rule changes. There'll be one more in May, and that's it.
So I'm going to make a comment that I think everybody will.
It's okay. I know it's, I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'm ready. Okay. Do you want to?
Hopefully going into next year. Hopefully going, yeah, that's fine. Back up the ball.
I get the ball. I got it.
You're saying hopefully going into next year, we won't see any changes in rules in the fourth quarter. Frankly, we need your folks at ADE in the program areas to get their rules together by July 1st. And then the only changes should be things that are mandatory changes because of changes in statute. But this idea that your program area people are so far behind in their thinking about, well, what rules do we need? And then they just get around to it when they get around to it, is killing us.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
So I'm doing my best to try to influence, schedule meetings, and so that we can do better in that area, because I know it's got to be painful. So I can't, but all I can do is try to influence, schedule meetings, and go out after folks. And, you know, I'm sure you have channels to share your feedback as well. So I'll at least do what I can do on from the IT standpoint to try to make that happen. Absolutely. So, yes.
I'm not sure I know how to ask this real articulately, but I'll give it a shot. If I have my data pretty clean and all of a sudden, like someone behind me was describing, I run an integrity report and I have a bunch of stuff, how do I immediately know what's my fault and what's yours? I mean, where do I go get my list of bugs? Right. And it can, and sometimes it's data I need to fix, but I can spend a lot of time researching data and looking for what to fix before I finally figure out that it's something you broke accidentally.
So the question was, so how do you find it? So we are keeping this update. If we're aware of a bug, we are getting it on this list, and we are actually, I need to make sure, I think we've gotten a little better at communicating it via the blog, but we'll also make sure it's in this list as well, because I don't,
check the list every day?
not every day. So here's what I would say. So it has been a painful year. There have been a number of bugs and issues that have been worked through because it was our first year. So I really do anticipate it should level up. We shouldn't have the flux or the issues that we've had this last year.
Sherry, can I suggest that you guys use the red flag alert so that we don't have to go out and check this list or check a blog? When a bug is noted, send it out to red alert, red flags.
So I'm going to ask you another, so what would you set, so here's actually where I struggle a little bit. If the bug is impacting, we know through looking at the data, it's impacting like 5 or 6 students. Do we red flag those as well, or do we? So I've been trying to figure out what is that threshold. We know every student is important, so it has nothing to do with the importance of a student and that student data. It's where are those thresholds so that we could red flag, especially if there's one that's causing a significant issue, but would it, I'm not, what threshold should we set? I don't know if anyone. Okay.
But here's where you have to be very careful.
Okay.
If you have a bug, there's a bug with an integrity error about MDSSI. Yes. Right? Okay, so there's a bug about MDSSI. And you might have the right combination of needs to justify MDSSI, and it fails, and that's a false error. But if you put this out as a broadcast and say, hey, we have a bug with this, then people who have legitimate errors in that area aren't going to realize it. They're just going to go, oh, well, there's a bug. But there can be legitimate errors also. I can have kids who I'm submitting attendance for when I'm supposed to be setting absences. So you have to be very, very careful in this, because we're looking for this thing that goes, oh, I don't have to worry about that, because that's what we want to do. But you're never really in that situation. So I think it needs to be a blog item, and I think you need to describe in the blog item that, okay, it's affecting students under these circumstances, and then you have to use language like, if you suspect after your investigation that these circumstances apply, then you have to wait on us. But you still have to investigate, and that's the big deal. Right, exactly.
Okay, thank you. So we'll continue to, we'll definitely, yeah, make sure that we blog. And if it's a significant error that is impacting or has all of a sudden, well, one, we would most likely roll it back right away. But either way, I can, if there is a need, depending on the issue, we could also red flag it as well, just so you don't spend a lot of time, or if it causes all sorts of, I want to concern or frustration, or, you know, and we know it is our issue, I would want to get that out to you quickly as well, so you don't spend time on it or worry about your payments.
Well, I think part of what you said, if you put out that it's been resolved, then you would kind of know if it's been resolved and you still have the error, it's something you have to
Then,
fix.
yeah.
So if we just knew real quickly that it had been resolved, that would.
Okay, great. Good feedback. All right, that's all I had. Is there any other questions? Yes.
I was just wondering if it would be helpful to have this color coded, like extreme bug is red or
Oh, so.
My comment would be, rather than giving details on the blog, just a statement, go to this page, you know, there's been whatever, you need to go look. Because in the blog tells us something's up.
Right.
But like was said, the interpretation of what's up
Okay.
could be a lot of different things.
Yep. So the feedback was potentially introduce some color coding about the severity of a bug or the impact of a bug based on our knowledge, and then also look at how we communicate within the blog itself. So maybe more of a summary, but then pointing you to the details so that you can do that additional analysis yourself. Yep. Good. We have another question?
Is there any way that we can have alerts put out on this spreadsheet that whenever someone makes a change to it, that it sends an alert to let us know to go find that particular change?
That is a great question. So the question was, how could we set up alerts when this spreadsheet changes? So I'm going to have to take that one back and see if we can't. That's a great idea. Great suggestion.
My question is about integrity rule accountability has been out. So I have a child that's been with me first day of school August 8th, right? That integrity rule got implemented, so my child didn't appear. It hasn't appeared until all of a sudden, like yesterday. How does something like that happen? And so what's it caused the first time that integrity rule ran, whenever it was implemented? How does a child just all of a sudden appear as missing data when he's been there since August 8th and he passed that integrity rule run the first time? I'm not understanding how that works, because that keeps happening periodically to me. My kids who are showing up on my list now were enrolled on the first day of school and have not left, have been here the whole time. I don't understand how that works.
Okay, so the question, and this is where the integrity rules do get a little complicated. So the question was, how did I have a student who had previously passed an integrity rule? They really haven't changed, but now all of a sudden I am failing the rule that that student has passed. So this is where I'm pretty certain what can happen is we will identify an issue with that rule where it isn't catching what it was supposed to catch. And this is what I'm kind of worried had happened with that particular rule, but I don't know the specifics without digging into the rule itself. But so when we are fixing some items, sometimes we're fixing where we know the data, what we should have been failing a student to begin with. And that's where, too, unfortunately, you think that that student is okay, and all of a sudden we've corrected an error or within a rule, and now they're failing. So we do know that that does happen. What I have asked and the team is to really, that description change impact is an area where I've asked the development team to try to articulate what it is that we're doing to that rule. So for situations like you just explained, that you would have a heads up that this is coming, that you would know that we're anticipating by fixing it, we're actually going to be causing more students to fail while we correct that data. Go ahead.
So to clarify, so that integrity rules when there's no ethnicity or race, right, or the gender is all said and gone.
Right.
So from day to day, right, children keep appearing on my integrity report
Okay.
on accountability. So are you saying that, I know that IT programmers are constantly making changes to improve things, and I get that. So is that what's happening, that every day I'm seeing at least one flag children show on my report using that data that have been there since the first day of school and all the way through?
It's,
I can't be the only one this is happening. Okay. So I'm not make sure that it's not just me.
okay.
Oh, language.
Can other schools affect us? Like, I have a kid that withdrew. They were with us for 2 months. Their race was in there. I looked at my step 72. Her race was in there. The next day, her race is gone.
Yes.
And I looked at my mirror files and Schoolmaster. It's in there. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. And then it comes, and then I have to trigger it. And I'm wondering how the school is doing it. Because they've been withdrawn from our school. They are often.
But in my case, my
Okay.
child's been with me since the first day of school and has not left. How can he now keep appearing on integrity reports after that initial integrity report? That's what I don't get.
Okay. Okay. So,
So I have different students, obviously, right? So different students every day are appearing on that.
so I'm just going to try to recap. So I think, so what I would suggest, and especially if it keeps happening, I would give some examples and send them in, and we will help research and track that down because we don't want that to happen. There could be a valid reason, but maybe there is an issue. So on the situation with the race, you're saying that you're seeing that for
2 different days. One day her race was there, next day her race is gone. And I did not do anything different in my school master.
and you're finding that mostly with what student. Okay.
Same thing with gender change.
Okay. I want to take that back. So one of the things we'll just research is how, and actually if you could send a couple of examples.
Well, I never know because right
Oh,
now
that's
her race
okay.
is there.
Okay. But if you even send in the SACE ID, we might be able to look at the history and see what happened. And if somebody doesn't mind sending me an example, then we,
Maybe on that new student analysis, will it show when something?
yes. Yes, you will see the history transactions as well.
Is that active now or coming up?
No, that's what's coming up in early May. Go ahead.
So what people are describing here is something that was designed this way in SACE. In SACE, the students had certain personal information that could be changed when a student moved elsewhere.
Right.
And that is something we were really concerned about moving into ATS. And I'll just tell you that we were told repeatedly that, no, it's not going to work that way. It's going to tie to the DOR. So if you submit a student as a male, and he leaves your district and goes someplace else and they submit as a female, we're not going to have that override issue. That is exactly what it sounds like it's happening.
Yeah, I'll go back. Well, because student demographics stays with that student. So what I think we need to do is pull together a quick reference guide on this topic, and then we'll go back. Actually, this topic did come up in one of the vendor meetings as well. And we can, I think, put a little bit of documentation around that, what could cause it. And then I will research also within the student analysis tool if we can validate that those history transactions are visible, so at least you know what has happened with that student demographic. Okay, any other questions? Well, thank you for listening. I do appreciate the feedback. Honestly, I'm a firm believer that if you don't get feedback, it's not a good thing either, because we can't improve things without you actually sharing the information with us, because you're the end user. So thanks a lot, and I do hope everyone has a great summer, that you get to have a little bit of time with your friends and family. So thank you very much.
Again, I want to thank Lori and Sherry for being here, sharing some good news, progress they are making. I think it's just getting better and better with their commitment to serve us and make it better. So, and thank you all for participating and giving them feedback. That's what's important about having these meetings, is they do want to hear our feedback, so just to improve all the processes. So thank you all. I did fail to mention earlier that the Schoolmaster user group will not be meeting this afternoon, so just wanted to make sure I made that announcement. And we are going to do the prize drawings now. So want to make sure everybody has a red ticket. If you do not have a red ticket, please come up to the front. We have them up here, and you can get a ticket.
I'm actually going to stand up. Yeah, I can take hang out.
Do you want to help
I've done it a long time.
Okay, these are all from EduPoint, right? And those are from Tyler. Anything else? Okay. Okay.
They take the run.
Okay. Okay, everybody have a ticket? Ready? Okay, we have Tyler Technologies has donated a $50 Amazon gift card and a couple little goodies in the tumbler. Okay, the number is 225123. 123. Ah! We have a winner. Okay, from EduPoint Synergy.
225161.
Yeah.
For mine. 225208. Oh, sorry, going too fast.
Thanks again to Tyler Technologies. Another gift card to Amazon. Who was the winner?
225208.
208. 208? No? Going once? Twice? We're drawing again. I cannot accept.
225115.
115. An Amazon Dot from EduPoint Synergy.
225214.
214. Another tumbler with us. Okay, we have another tumbler with a gift card. I believe Starbucks gift card from EduPoint.
225170.
Okay, another tumbler from Tyler Technologies, $50 Amazon.
225149.
149.
What's a dot?
Okay, one more.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
One more from EduPoint. I believe it's another, what'd you call it? Dot. Amazon Dot.
225130.
130, going once. Twice. No?
Two two five two two two.
222, yay. Thank you. All right, that's it for our prize drawings. I believe lunch is not going to be ready till they're ready. Okay, lunch is ready. So thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful summer and enjoy your lunch. See you next year.